minus 1 minute. T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
A pleasant morning, everyone. We welcome you back to STI West Negros University College of Engineering Immersion Program. So I know that you were very fascinated about the things that you learned yesterday, and I believe that you wanted to learn more. So don't worry, because today we are going to fill our minds with more knowledge about the engineering field. So students, pay attention, sit back, and relax. Civil engineering is one of the major in the engineering field, and I know that all of you are very curious about this course or this field. So at this moment, let's hear an orientation for the civil engineering course.
Hello everyone, my name is Melvin Fritz Mayo, and I am a fresh graduate of STI West Negros University, and today I am assigned to share to you my knowledge about what is civil engineering and also my experiences as a student of STI West Negros University. So welcome to career orientation for Bachelor in Science in Civil Engineering. So I know a lot of you have already knowledge or idea what is civil engineering, but let me enlighten and widen your understanding about this course and what are the offers and opportunities awaiting for you guys if you're going to take civil engineering. So basically, civil engineering is a professional engineering field that deals with design, build, maintenance of structure. So what is design? So basically it's the planning stage and the specification, making sure that all the details are complete before construction. Build, because after all the paperworks, we proceed to the site and making sure that the structure is stable, and making sure that everything is smooth during the construction, and we manage people and we supervise people as well, so that we meet all the requirements and we meet the deadlines as well, and making sure that all the expectations for the construction are met. Maintain. So this is where we make sure that the structure is strong and stable, that no matter what, it will stand and it will not fail at the expected specific date or specific time frame. So what are the technical areas of civil engineering? So first is structural. So this is the very foundation of civil engineering. So this is a branch of study that deals with, as what I've mentioned, about structures. It's making sure that the structure is stable and strong, that no matter what the applied forces or applied loads on the structure, it will be able to resist it. So that's the goal of that's one of the basic and fundamental job of a civil engineer. Also, coastal engineering, so it's basically about coastal works, so coastal developments and maintenance. So one perfect example is the Breadco. Even the area of the SM Bacolod, it is used to be just a shore, but the city expanded the area and developed it, so that's considered as a coastal engineering. And also transportation, so basically it's all about transportation system, so it involves traffic and planning of streets and highways. Also environmental, so as an engineer, it is also our job or responsibility to take care of our environment. So it's not just about developing areas, developing the land, but it's also making sure that we are not affecting our environment. So we should consider the environmental factors of each project. So also geotechnical, so it's all about earth materials. So we study the soil, rocks, and the mechanic of the soil itself, because before the construction started, the structure itself, or the main thing that structure holds, is the soil. So if the soil is not strong, no matter how strong your structure is, it will fail, because the soil itself, or the platform that it holds, is not even stable. So that's why we have to study geotechnical engineering as well. And also construction, so it is where we supervise and manage the construction system, and also the people. And yes, that's it. And also architectural, so as an engineer, it's also responsibility to work with an architect. At the same time, you should know how they make plans, and you should know how to make plan as well, so that you both would collaborate. And once there's an architectural design already, you will be able to make a structural design out of that plan. And also engineering mechanics, so it's basically the application of all your sciences during high school. So it's application of physics, science, and mathematics, and solving problems for practical problems, basically solving the very problems or situations, or practical situations in our life. So it's basically problems based on reality. So it's not just about solution. It's not just about equations or that, but it's also application of all the sciences and mathematics that we've learned from our junior and senior high school. And also utility engineering and surveying. So surveying is one of the topic that our next presenter would discuss. So I'll just part on that, and I will let him or her share to you, or discuss to you what is surveying. And let's move on. So what are the services that the engineering or civil engineering offers? So first is for the paperwork. So before a construction or a project started, we first consult a engineer, or an architect, so it starts with plans, designs, and estimates and specifications. So after all the paperworks, we proceed to the site, wherein we supervise the construction, and also we supervise the workers, installation, erection, and management of the site. And after that, what are the scope of civil engineering? So civil engineering is not just only about structures, it's not just about buildings, but actually civil engineering is very wide and it has a lot of field and consideration as well. So one is streets, the bridges, highways, and railroads. So basically these are projects of the Department of Public Works and Highways. So since it is related to city and public utilities. And also one of the scope of civil engineering is the airports, hangars. These are structures made of steel, and canals, and also the drainage system for a city, so for flood prevention as well, and shore and river improvements, as what I've discussed earlier as well. And also port works. So you thought it's only in the land, but we are also concerned about the port works or the water system as well, lighthouse, dry docks, and irrigation. So for irrigation, it's part of our agricultural engineering, but also we are responsible for that, making sure that the distribution of water is enough to supply the plantation, and also the water system in our city, just like Basiwa. So we are those people who specify the size of the tubes, or yeah. So as a civil engineer, we are not just only closed or limited only for construction, but it's also we are also concerned with environmental, agricultural, industrial, and water system. So it's and what is the civil engineering career path? So how are we able to become a civil engineer? So first thing that we need to do is education. So after we graduate senior high school, we need to take Bachelor in Science in Civil Engineering for 4 years, and after that, once we have diploma already, we should take the licensure examination by PRC, so that we will be able to attain the license. So because our license is our ticket for the job, we will not be able to sign any contracts without having a license. And after that, once we have the license, we have opportunities. So after all the hard works in your studies, and especially during the review for board exam, so a lot of doors will open. So there will be a lot of opportunities. So as what I've mentioned, you cannot just be part of the construction service, but you can also be part of geotechnical for soil, or for water system, or if you want to work to the government. And it's all up to you, if where do you want to be part of, or in what field do you want to join yourself. And after that, after all the experience in work, you will attain advancement. So as an engineer yourself, you can also advance your career by establishing your own career. So you cannot just stay as an employee. You can actually build your own firm. At the same time, you can also be a businessman, and you can also collaborate with different engineers as well. You can also teach, and you can make contracts, and you can also be contractor yourself. So yes, that's it. And what is the organization that we belong? So we are part of the Philippine Institute of Civil Engineers. So this is established since 1937. So these are our some of our activities. So we have a Aquinas Party, we have Sports Fest, we have Paisiklaban. It is where different schools compete for sports and cultural activities as well, and quizzes. And also we have field trips and educational tours. So it is where we get to experience how the engineering field works, or we can witness a lot of improvements in the construction services, especially in the metro city. So it's quite exciting in our part, since after studying and exhausting all our time in studying, it's also a great time for us to witness and also expose ourselves into the field. And also we have exhibits. So every year we have exhibits wherein we showcase our projects and outputs. So if you're going to enroll in STI West Negros University, you will also get to experience this, wherein you would showcase your hard work and your outputs as a student. So yep. So why civil engineering? So that's actually the biggest question. Why of all the courses, why civil engineering? So let me help you answer that question. So first answer is, civil engineers build the world. So we won't have a home to stay, we won't have a road to travel, we don't have water to drink if without a civil engineer, because we are part of our daily lives. So that's how essential the work of a civil engineer. Civil engineering is fun. So because we collaborate with different people, not just for civil engineers, but we also work with architects, with electrical engineer, mechanical engineer, and all different background of people. So it's really fun. At the same time, you also get to use different tools and equipments, and you also get to travel because you work with different locations and different sites. So you also get the perk to travel. And creative, as what I've mentioned, you collaborate with different professions. So you share your ideas, and you came up with a plan and decision in order for you to have a wise and a really strong decisions in making plans. And modern. So as what as we have technologies right now, and we are using advanced tools to make our lives easier. So we also use advanced tools so that we will be able to get data that we need for the construction service. And monument. Why monument? Actually, this is the very reason why I took civil engineering. So it means it's not actually a monument that a structure that shows yourself, but it means that all your projects is a monument. It serves as your witness that no matter what happened, even you get age after a certain time, your project is still standing there. That will serve as your monument, as testimony of your hard work. So I want that someday people will remember me by those monuments, by those structures that I've made. So you're not just an ordinary profession or individual that lives along, but you have a mark on the lives of other people. So that's actually the very reason why I took civil engineering. And the last reason is opportunities. So as what I've showed you, how broad and wide the scope of civil engineering, especially that construction is non-stop. If you go out of your home, left and right, you can see all the constructions there. So as long as there's construction, there's a need of civil engineers. So there's really an assurance that after you graduate, you will have a lot of opportunity if you're going to take civil engineering. So what are you waiting for? Be one of us and enroll at STI West Negros University. Thank you for listening and have a great day.
Okay, thank you so much for that orientation. So, I believe that some of you here are aspiring civil engineers someday, and that will be very helpful to you. So, at this moment, let's hear another lecture from another speaker, and it will be all about earthquake engineering.
Good day, civil engineering aspirants. Thank you for being here with us today. I am Meisha Lindsay, a fifth-year civil engineering student at STI West Negros University. I really appreciated the opportunity to give you this lecture today. So, our topic for today's lecture would be earthquake engineering. So let's start this lecture with a question: what is earthquake engineering and how is it important to civil engineering course? Earthquake engineering is more on analyzing structures such as buildings, bridges with earthquakes in mind. Its overall goal is to make sure that the structures are more resistant to earthquake. One of the major loads na gina-consider in building a structure or in designing a structure is seismic load, which is related to earthquake. So, madamo kita nga loads na gina-consider sa isa ka building, but the major gid nga gina-focusan ta is ang earthquake loads because we cannot determine kung saan o maabot ang earthquake. Unlike sa mga weather, suppose ang bagyo malabot sa mo nga area, but sa earthquake, we cannot predict kung saan o siya maabot. So that's why earthquake loads is really considered sa pag-design sa isa ka building. Parang aton nga mga infrastructures in the future will be earthquake resistant. So if you're going to take up civil engineering, maybe sa 3rd or 4th year nyo, encounter si Structural Code of the Philippines, si building code, so duwa kapit gina sila duwa. So makita nyo da, ang ginamba ko sa inyo subong nga seismic loads. In the future, makilala nyo pag ginang iban ng mga loads kang gina-consider sa pag-design sa isa ka building. So now I'm going to give you heads up kung ano ang i-discuss ko sa ining lecture. So what I'm going to discuss is the introduction to earthquake-resistant design, the elements of seismology, and the earthquake records and measuring instruments. So under the introduction to earthquake-resistant design is the earthquakes and urbanization, which is, I am going to discuss kung anong ilang relationship, history of major international and Philippine earthquakes. So this is very interesting. A lot of us guys are not aware kung ano ang strongest earthquake in the history of the Philippines and worldwide. So I will be giving you guys details later. So next is the Ring of Fire, which most of us guys are already familiar with. Next is under the elements of seismology, we're going to discuss earthquake faults. How is it nga naging related ang theory of plate tectonics sa earthquakes? So, amo na guys, i-discuss ko muna later. And under the earthquake records and measuring instruments, so I have here 4 instruments nga i-discuss sa inyo, which is the seismographs, accelerographs, seismoscopes, and earthquake networks. And let's proceed to the introduction to earthquake-resistant design. So compared to other countries, Philippines is considered a country with proven but relatively moderate seismicity. However, because of the localization of the seismicity in highly urbanized areas, the effects of earthquakes were often catastrophic. So these risks are localized. Seismic risks continue to cause real disasters since it is virtually impossible to predict or prevent them from occurring, even if the progress that new the earth sciences allows today to limit the effects as well for humans and for the buildings and the infrastructures. So kung mas urbanized ang isa ka city, much better or it is really advisable nga magpatindog sa mga infrastructures nga mas doble ang resistance when it comes to earthquake. Let's take Cebu and Manila as an example sa mga lugar nga may aragid sa mga high-rise buildings. Grabe, kinaka-stricto ang pag-design sila. Kaya syempre, once ganing nga kung urbanized ganing isa ka lugar, kung mag-strike ganing earthquake, mas dako ang ego or mas dako ang damage. So that's why gina-consider gid ang earthquake loads sa mga high-rise buildings. Like, doble gid dapat ang stability because we cannot sure kung saan maabot ang earthquake as what I have mentioned earlier. Think about it. The death and devastation caused by major earthquakes around the world can only worsen in the years to come, as urban development and unprecedented population growth compound the lethal effects of natural seismic hazards, experts say. So, this is from BaltimoreSun.com. So, I included this in the talk naton subong because I wanted to discuss also kung ano man ang effects ng population sa urbanization. So, both of them have a relationship which nga kung mas damo ang population sa isa ka lugar, mas highly urbanized ang isa ka area. Like diri sa aton sa Bacolod, hindi pa man amuna ka urbanized diri sa aton because hindi pa man amuna ka damo ang aton nga population diri compared to Manila and Cebu. Kita nyo, damo sa mga infrastructures dito sa ila because mas damo ang ilang nga population. So, amo ning ginahambal sa ini nga statement nga mas nag-worsen ang effects ng earthquake sa isa ka lugar in the years to come because as the time goes by, mas nagadamo ang population. So, that's how population affects urbanization and how destructive earthquake is in an urbanized area. Especially if ang urbanized area na ang ilang mga infrastructures hindi amo naka-stable ang design. So let's move on to the history of major international and Philippine earthquakes. So ang una naton nga pag-istoryahan is the major earthquakes here in the Philippines. The Philippine archipelago was formed as a result of the collision of the Eurasian plate on the west and the Pacific plates in the east, which subsequently also formed the Philippine Plate. In other words, the entire archipelago was born out of earthquakes. The Philippines lies along the Pacific Ring of Fire, which causes the country to have frequent seismic and volcanic activity. So, Philippines is a result of plate tectonics. Because of earthquakes, nabuo ang Pilipinas. Philippines experiences earthquakes or frequent earthquakes because we are located along the Pacific Ring of Fire. For now, guys, we're going to talk the history of the worst earthquakes in the Philippines. So first is the 1990 Luzon earthquake. In 1990 Luzon earthquake, it was late Monday afternoon when a magnitude of 7.8 earthquake shook Luzon, with its epicenter in Nueva Ecija. So, its effects were most felt in Baguio, Cabanatuan, Dagupan, and La Union. So, ang iyang epicenter is ara lang sa Nueva Ecija. Pero, ang iyang naepektuhan is Baguio, Cabanatuan, Dagupan, and La Union. So, it explains, guys, that an earthquake is like tropical cyclones or isa ka bagyo. Kung bagyo, may ara na sa dumata-mata. So, it means dira na siya na-form ang isa ka bagyo. So, pareho lang na siya sa earthquake. Ang epicenter is where an earthquake or an underground explosion originates. May ara siya radius sa iyang effect. Like, for example, kung epicenter mo is at this area, depende na sa earthquake kung ano kalapad ang iyang pagyanig. Baguio suffered the most damage. The earthquake collapsed 28 buildings, damaged roads, and caused landslides that blocked Cannon Road and Marcos Highway, the two main roads to access Baguio from the capital. So it virtually cut off Baguio from relief, and the only way to go there was by air. Kita nyo guys kung ano kahaso pag-rescue sa mga tao if the two major roads ng isa ka lugar is blocked. So through air pa sila maka-deliver sa relief goods or maka-execute sa rescue operation. So that's very hassle. Kita nyo kung ano kadako sang destruction sang ginatawang earthquake, guys. Hindi siya lahog-lahog. Kapin-pagid kung 7.8 ang iyang magnitude. So people were buried alive inside collapsed high-rise buildings. Hindi kidya mapaktan sa mga tao yang may maabot nga earthquake, di ba? So kita nyo, may mga nagkalamatay pa nga mga tao sa sulod sa building. Some survivors in these buildings were miraculously rescued 2 weeks after the earthquake. International rescue teams left the site assuming there were no more survivors. So in total, the 1990 Luzon earthquake took 2,412 lives and affected an area of 20,000 square kilometers. Next is the 1968 Kasiguran earthquake. So on August 2nd of 1968 at 4:19 a.m., a magnitude of 7.3 earthquake jolted the province, but most of the casualties were in Manila. According to PHIVOLCS, or Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, the earthquake killed 270 people, one in Aurora, Quezon, one in Guagua, Pampanga, and 268 in Manila. Ruby Tower was a 6-story building in Binondo. It collapsed, burying 268 people inside. Most of the people injured were also occupants of the building. Another building in Manila that collapsed was the Philippine Bar Association building. The Aloha Theater also suffered extensive structural damage. So that's why, guys, ang ini nga earthquake is called the Ruby Tower earthquake because it injured 261 people, all of whom were in Manila. And most of them, guys, nga na-injured are within the facility of Ruby Tower. Next is the 1976 Mora Gulf earthquake. On August 7 of 1976, at 10 minutes past midnight, while people were sound asleep, a magnitude of 8.0 earthquake rocked Mindanao. Its epicenter was detected in the Cotabato Trench, which generated a tsunami. A gulf is a large inlet from the ocean into the landmass, typically with a narrower opening than a bay. So, mas gamay ang opening niya kaysa sa bay. Kung sa bay ya, as in, dako siya ya, ang sa gulf ya, it is an ocean pero mas gamay ang iya nga opening. Kung ang isa ka earthquake is located sa body of water, probably it will cause a tsunami. The tsunami flattened towns and villages along the 700 kilometers of coastline bordering the Mora Gulf in the Celebes Sea. So it swept away people, animals, and properties. So kabudlay, guys, if ang isa ka area or if ang isa ka earthquake are siya lapit sa sea because it will cause a tsunami, and tsunami is very destructive. As in, because it will wipe a village in just a matter of seconds. It is remembered as one of the worst disasters here in the Philippines, owing to the high number of deaths, injuries, and missing persons it caused. A total of 4,791 people died, 2,288 went missing, 9,928 were injured. Next is the 2013 Bohol earthquake. On the morning of October 15 of 2013, at 8:13 a.m., a magnitude of 7.2 earthquake struck the island of Bohol. The earthquake also felled national heritage, including the 10 centuries-old churches in Bohol and Cebu. The Church of San Pedro Apostol in Lobok, Bohol, built by the Jesuits in 1602, was reduced to powder and rubble and was deemed impossible to restore. The earthquake cost Bohol and Cebu an estimated 4 billion pesos worth of damages. It also displaced more than 348,000 people. So I remembered when we went to Bohol sa amon nga field trip, last November 2019. Nakita ko guys nga damo sila churches nga gina-restore, and that was so hard guys sa ila guys na side because 2013 natabo ang earthquake, pero up until 2019 gina-restore nila gyapon ang mga historical churches nila because Bohol is known to be a place nga damo historical churches. And guys, makita man kami mga dalan pa nga wala na kayo, may mga bridge nga nautod, and may mga churches nga gina-restore hasta subong wala pa sila gyapon nakatapos guys. Amo na kabudlay i-restore ang destruction sa isa ka earthquake. Maybe sa tam-an katigulang na sa mga churches hindi na guro nakayanan sa stability ng mga churches, that's why nagkalaguba na sila. So damo kami minakatuan nga churches nga gina-restore pa lang, and may mga churches nga hindi na gid and very impossible to restore. Some 222 people died and 976 were missing. Grabe na subong ang ilang nga preparations, especially sa mga sinkholes because Bohol is known to be a place of sinkholes. So not only lang earthquakes ang ginapreparahan nila but also sinkholes. They have devices, and also grabe ang ilang preparation sa mga disasters sa ila. So amo na ka well prepared ang Bohol subong guys. Pero subong okay naman tong ilang lugar, and bakita ko man nga nag-aamat-amat na sila bangon. Imagine guys, 2013 natabo ang earthquake, pero up until sa 2019 wala pa sila gyapon ka-recover. So let's move on to the 1983 August 17 Lawag earthquake. The night was shattered on August 17, 1983 at around 8 p.m. when a magnitude 6.5 earthquake hit Ilocos, with a reported intensity of 7 to 9. Among the damaged structures were the Lawag Cathedral, Sinking Bell Tower, Santa Monica Church and Bell Tower, and Bacara Church, and probably these churches or these places were historical. And the earthquake caused 17 deaths and 80 injuries and left widespread damage to property. Next is the 2012 Negros Oriental earthquake. I remembered this earthquake because I experienced it diriban sa Bacolod, and I was in my, I think, 3rd year or 4th year high school. Isa siya kalinog nga damo sang aftershocks. On the coastal area's landscape was permanently changed when beaches were elevated a couple of feet above sea level, exposing sandstone and beneath the shore. Major highways in Negros Oriental also suffered extensive damage, paralyzing relief efforts in the affected areas. Water supply and electricity were also unavailable for weeks in some areas. So, ang ginahambal din nilang major highways, probably, amo ni siya siguro ang dalan sa gilhulngan. But diri sa Bacolod, hindi siya mo nakadako gid ang intensity. Ang natam-an gid probably is gilhulngan. The earthquake caused by major landslides and huge cracks on highways, killing at least 52 people in Negros Island and Cebu province. While the human fatalities are relatively low compared with the other earthquakes of the same magnitude affecting densely populated areas, the damage it dealt to the infrastructure and surrounding geography was calamitous. Ang ini nga earthquake, natabo ni siya sa area nga wala masyado population. So that's why mas dako ang iyang mas dako ang hassle sa properties compared sa lives ng tao. The 2012 Negros Oriental earthquake is one of the most studied earthquakes in the country. Its numerous geologic impacts in Cebu and Negros Oriental provided scientists at the FIVOX vast amounts of data which can help people adapt and to mitigate the effects of earthquakes. As what I mentioned earlier, the coastal area's landscape was permanently changed when beaches were elevated a couple of feet along sea level. So that is very rare guys nga maka-experience kita amon na nga earthquake. So that's why to prepare our country guys sa mga amon ni klase nga earthquakes, they took this earthquake, especially ang datas nila, as an example for their research para nga ma-mitigate naton ang mga effects ng earthquake sa aton na country in the years to come. Next is the world's biggest earthquakes in history. Earthquakes are caused by movements within the Earth's crust and uppermost mantle. They range from events too weak to be detectable except by sensitive instrumentation, to sudden and violent events lasting many minutes, which have caused some of the greatest disasters in human history. What we're standing right now is the uppermost layer of the Earth's surface. Later, guys, I'm going to discuss the layers of the Earth's surface and what happens during an earthquake. At the Earth's surface, earthquakes manifest themselves by shaking and displacing or disrupting the ground. When the epicenter of a large earthquake is located offshore, the seabed may be displaced sufficiently to cause a tsunami. Earthquakes can also trigger landslides and occasionally volcanic activity. Before anything else, guys, I would like to apologize for the unnecessary background noises nga mabatian nyo later because ang amon nga lugar medyo gaod man kinandi, guys. So pasensya lang, guys, if mabatian ko mga background noises, just ignore them, guys, and let's just focus on the topic or the topics that I am going to discuss for this lecture. So here are the 10 biggest earthquakes in recorded history. So first is the 9.5 earthquake in Valdivia, Chile on May 22nd of 1960.
1960 emerges as the most disastrous earthquake year of modern times.
Even today, the images, the impact of that 1960 quake in Chile have the power to shock.
Thousands are dead. 1/4 of the nation, over 2 million homeless. Whole cities have been reduced to shambles.
The 1960 quake, about 10 times greater than today's, shook Chile for 11 horrifying minutes and sent shockwaves around the world, triggering destructive tsunamis. 15 hours later, a 35-foot wave smashed into Hilo on the Big Island of Hawaii, more than 6,000 miles away. 1,600 houses destroyed, 185 people dead or missing. A day later, a deadly 18-foot wave slammed into Japan. Tsunamis swept across the Pacific from the Philippines to California.
Along the California coast, it swept in at an angle, ripping coastal installations and causing heavy damages.
It wasn't the worst earthquake ever, but it was the worst ever recorded. For the first time, a quake's tremendous power and reach were picked up by sensors newly placed around the globe to monitor Cold War nuclear testing by the U.S. and Soviet.
Next is the 9.4 Prince William Sound, Alaska earthquake last March 28th of 1964.
In 1964, Alaska was shaken by the largest U.S. earthquake ever recorded. Magnitude 9.2. Shaking went on for over 4 minutes. 143 people died. Total property loss in 2013 dollars is estimated at $2.3 billion. The 1964 Great Alaska Earthquake changed our understanding of earthquakes and tsunamis and had a profound and lasting impact. There were gaping fractures, massive landslides, and the destruction of water mains, gas, sewer, telephone, and electrical systems. The epicenter was in Prince William Sound, 74 miles southeast of Anchorage. The surface was disrupted over an area larger than California, 185,000 square miles. Some areas dropped down as much as 8 feet, and others rose up by as much as 38 feet. Some of the most stunning destruction from the 1964 quake came from subaerial landslides. Extreme shaking led to significant ground failure and liquefaction in Anchorage. Massive landslides struck the downtown area, Government Hill, and in the Turn Again by the Sea subdivision.
Next is the 9.1 Sumatra, Indonesia earthquake on December 26, 2004. So in terms of damage and loss to life, the scale of the disaster caused by the resulting Boxing Day tsunami was enormous. In total, 227,900 people were killed or presumed dead, with around 1.7 million displaced over 14 countries in South Asia and East Africa. The epicenter was 250 kilometers southeast of Banda Aceh, Indonesia, at a depth of 30 kilometers. Several days later, on 28th December, a mud volcano began erupting near Baratang. Next is the 9.0 Sendai, Japan earthquake on March 11, 2011.
It was centered about 80 miles offshore, and tsunami warnings went up immediately. In coastal cities, people knew what to do next. Video shows the water rushing over an 18-foot seawall into Kamaishi City. The seawall here was the world's deepest and largest, but not enough for the magnitude of the March 11 disaster. It was the largest quake ever known in Japan, and one of the 5 largest recorded in the world.
Next is the 9.0 Kamchatka, Russia earthquake on November 4 of 1952. This earthquake generated a tsunami that caused widespread damage in the Hawaiian Islands. Property damage was estimated at around $1 million. Some reported described waves of over 9 meters high at Kaena Point, Oahu, and a farmer on Oahu reported the cause of 6 cows to the tsunami, but no people were reported. Next is the 8.8 Biobío, Chile earthquake on February 27, 2010.
One of the strongest earthquakes ever measured, and security cameras captured its 90 terrifying seconds. It struck in the middle of the night. At dawn, the extent of the devastation came into focus. In Concepcion, Chile's second largest city, 70 miles from the epicenter, the earth opened up, tearing apart asphalt and even buildings, toppling bridges, and tossing cars from an overpass. The quake rumbled almost 22 miles below the surface.
If the epicenter was near a populated town, the town would be utterly destroyed. Fortunately, in this case, the epicenter was off the coast.
Next is the 8.8 Ecuador coast on January 31st of 1906. This earthquake caused a tsunami that is reported to have killed between 500 and 1,500 in Ecuador and Colombia. The tsunami traveled as far north as San Francisco, on the west coast of the US, and west to Hawaii and Japan. The tsunami caused roughly 12 hours to cross the Pacific to Hilo, Hawaii. Next is the 8.7 Rat Islands, Alaska earthquake on April 2nd of 1965. The worst of the damage attributed to this earthquake was caused by a tsunami, reported to be around 10 meters high on Shemya Island. The wave caused flooding on Amchitka Island, caused $10,000 in property damage. So no deaths or injuries were reported. So imagine guys, a 10-meter high tsunami. It will sweep a village for a matter of seconds, guys, as in the Kong Iyang destruction. Next is the 8.6 Sumatra, Indonesia earthquake on March 28, 2005. This earthquake killed 1,313 with over 400 people injured by the tsunami as far as Sri Lanka. The epicenter was 205 kilometers northwest of Sibolga, Sumatra, at a depth of 30 kilometers. This region, also the site of the 2004 Boxing Day tsunami, is particularly geologically active, with 3 of the biggest known earthquakes having happened here. Next is the 8.6 Assam, Tibet earthquake on August 15 of 1950. Proceed to the Pacific Ring of Fire. The abundance of volcanoes and earthquakes along the Pacific Ring of Fire is caused by the amount of movement of tectonic plates in the area. Along much of the Ring of Fire, plates overlap at convergent boundaries called the subduction zones. That is, the plate that is underneath is pushed down or subducted by the plate above. As rock is subducted, it melts and becomes magma. The abundance of magma so near to Earth's surface gives rise to conditions ripe for volcanic activity release. The Pacific Ring of Fire are the areas on which the most active volcanoes are present. So Philippines lies along the Pacific Ring of Fire. That's why we experience earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. So in the Philippines, we have two active volcanoes, which is the Mount Pinatubo and Mount Mayon. So that's why, guys, mga countries like Hawaii, Puerto Rico, Chile, Indonesia, Japan, Philippines, and so on and so forth, maka-experience ng frequent earthquakes. So these are the facts about the Ring of Fire. The Ring of Fire is home to 75 of the world's volcanoes and 90% of its earthquakes. The Ring of Fire is a direct result of plate tectonics, the movement and collisions of lithospheric plates. So lithosphere is the outermost layer of the Earth's surface. The Ring of Fire is roughly 25,000-mile chain of volcanoes and seismically active sites that outline the Pacific Ocean. Also known as the Circum-Pacific Belt, the Ring of Fire traces the meeting points of many tectonic plates, including the Eurasian, North American, Juan de Fuca, Cocos, Caribbean, Nazca, Antarctic, Indian, Australian, Philippine, and other smaller plates, which are encircle the large Pacific plate. The plates are constantly sliding past, colliding into, or moving above or below each other. So, depende na siya sa cases ng movement of plates. Probably, the movement results in deep ocean trenches, volcanic eruptions, and earthquake epicenters along the boundaries where the plates meet, called the fault lines, which we're going to discuss later. The Ring of Fire is home to the deepest ocean trench called the Mariana Trench. So it was caused by the collision of two tectonic plates. So it was pushed under another. The tectonic activity along the Ring of Fire also results in about 90% of the world's earthquakes, including the Valdivia earthquake of Chile in 1960, the strongest recorded earthquake at 9.5 out of 10 on the Richter scale. So now we're in the elements of seismology, earthquake faults, and theory of plate tectonics. Fault in geology is a fracture along which the blocks of crust on either side have moved relatively to one another parallel to the fracture. Earthquakes occur on faults. Strike-slip earthquakes occur on strike-slip faults, normal earthquakes occur on normal faults, and thrust earthquakes occur on thrust or reverse faults. When an earthquake occurs on one of these faults, the rock on the other side of the fault slips with the respect of the other. So the fault surface can be vertical, horizontal, or at some angle to the surface of the earth. So the slip direction can also be at any angle. Energy released associated with rapid movement on active faults is the cause of most earthquakes. Faults may also displace slowly, but a seismic creep. So here are the different types of faults.
Faults. A fault develops where a rock structure is broken and forcibly displaced. The movement along a fault may be vertical, horizontal, or a combination of both. A normal fault develops from tensional stress, the stress that results when a landscape is rifting or pulling apart. Movement along a normal fault is predominantly vertical, although the orientation of the fault plane may not be perpendicular to the surface. As the landscape is extended, notice that one side of the fault plane drops down relative to the other. The fault scarp formed along the uplifted mountain front eventually erodes away, leaving little surface evidence of the fault. Many landforms can develop from normal faulting, including tilted fault block mountains, down-dropped basins known as grabens, and uplifted mountain blocks called horsts. Reverse fault develops from compressional stress. Movement along a reverse fault is also predominantly vertical, although in a type of reverse fault known as an overthrust fault, the upthrown block overrides the downthrown block at a very low angle. As the landscape is compressed, one side of the fault is pushed up over the other side. Once faulting ends, erosion gradually wears down the uplifted mountain. A strike-slip fault develops from shear stresses, causing one side of the fault to move horizontally past the other. Notice that horizontal movement along the strike-slip fault may displace the course of a stream. Such offset streams commonly develop from ongoing displacement along a strike-slip fault.
What you're seeing on the screen right now is the Pangaea. So it assembled from early continental units approximately 335 million years ago, and it began to break apart about 175 million years ago.
The idea that our planet's continents drift around the globe, periodically glomming together and breaking apart, is at least 200 years old. But most geologists didn't believe it until the 1960s, when mounting evidence made it clear that the Earth's crust is broken up into fragments, and that those fragments, called tectonic plates, are moving. And these days we directly track that motion, with millimeter precision, from space. The common simplified explanation for why tectonic plates are moving is that they're carried along on currents in the upper mantle, the slowly flowing layer of rock just below Earth's crust. Hot mantle rock rises from the core and moves along under the crust until it grows cool and heavy and sinks back down again. Some of Earth's plates, it turns out, are pulling
Before
themselves.
nahati sa 7 continents ang world, we have Pangaea. And the separation of 7 continents of the world is a result of plate tectonics. So that's why I included Pangaea here on the discussion.
This is called tectonics. Plates move slowly, as fast as growing fingernails. Continental plates form the land the continents are on. Plates that are covered with water are called oceanic plates. They are thinner and the rock is heavier. When continental plates collide, the folds can pile up and create huge mountain ranges up to 8 kilometers high. An oceanic plate pushes itself under a continental one. It disappears into the Earth's hot mantle, creating an ocean trench up to 8 kilometers deep. On its way down into the mantle, the oceanic plate melts. But the liquid magma can return to the surface at another place. A volcano is born. When 2 oceanic plates move apart, the seam is called an ocean ridge. Magma from inside the Earth escapes here. This drives the plates further apart and makes them grow. Plates that glide past each other can get tangled up and stick. When they separate, the Earth shakes.
In the previous videos, guys, na-witness nyo kung ano ang concept sa theory of plate tectonics. So, the Earth's surface may seem motionless most of the time, but it is actually moving ever so slowly. So, according to my research, nga ang kada plate, it will move 4 to 5 centimeters per year. So, amo lagi na kagamay, relatively gamay ang iya nga movement. And on the left side, you could see a picture of the layers of the Earth's surface. So where we are standing right now is at the lithosphere, which is the uppermost part of the Earth's surface. And it is divided into 2, which is the continental crust, which we're standing right now, and the oceanic crust. And below the lithosphere, here's the asthenosphere. But what makes the continental plates move is the upper mantle. And ang pinaka-innermost surface ng Earth is the core. So which means dira init-init na siya, guys. And ang upper mantle kagang lower mantle, dira na siya ga-exist ang lava nga gakakit-an naton sa mga volcanoes.
Let's move on to the earthquake records and measuring instruments. So we have here seismographs, accelerographs, seismoscopes, and earthquake networks. Here are the sources of seismic waves. Earthquakes is one of them. Volcanic eruptions, weather and ocean waves, meteorite impacts, cultural activities, and underground nuclear explosions. Seismic monitoring is a term on which ginamonitor naton ang seismic activities that is present on an area or a certain area. Yeah. So, seismology is a fundamental tool for investigating the kinematics and dynamics of geological processes of scales, or at all scales. So, it involves the propagation of seismic waves through the Earth. It provides detailed measurements made at the surface that suggest or imply what is happening at Earth. So that's why may ara kita mga measuring equipments that will record the seismic activities experienced. On the right picture shows how seismograph accepts the data made by a seismic activity. Let's move on to the seismograph. It is an instrument used to record the motion on the ground during an earthquake. They are installed on the ground throughout the world and operated as part of seismographic network. So the earliest seismoscope was invented by the Chinese philosopher Chang Heng in AD 132. This did not, however, record earthquakes, but it only determines if there is an earthquake occurred or The first seismograph was developed in 1890. The seismometer, together with the unit recording the signal, is called a seismograph. The seismometer senses the ground vibration and converts this to signal that can be recorded. Ang seismometer, amo na siya yung recording unit sa mga seismic waves nga gaka-experience sa ka-area. But what makes the waves is the seismograph. It converts the seismic activities into waves. So seismographs can detect, amplify, and record ground vibrations too small to be perceived by human beings. Modern seismographs can measure movements smaller than 1 nanometer. Ang pag-perceive sa seismograph, hindi lang siya X and Y axis. Because ang aton nga surface is not only 2-dimensional, but it's 3-dimensional. So, amo na siya ang gina-perceive sa seismograph. Next is accelerometer. Accelerometer is an instrument for recording the acceleration in velocity of earthquake vibrations. They are usually constructed as a self-contained box, which previously included a paper or film recorder or an analog instrument, but now they often record directly on digital media. Accelerographs are useful for when the earthquake ground motion is so strong that it causes the more sensitive seismometers to go off scale. There is an entire science of strong ground motion that is dedicated to studying the shaking in the vicinity of earthquakes. So roughly within about 100 km of the fault rupture. So amo na siya ang makuha sa accelerometer. Mas lapad kag mas exact ang data nga makuha sa accelerometer compared to the seismograph. Just to be clear, accelerographs do not measure earthquakes. They measure vibrations. Next is a seismoscope. According to my research, seismoscope is more on ancient type of earthquake equipment that has made like 132 CE, layo na gid katama. So, seismoscope is an instrument for recording only the time or fact of occurrence of earthquakes. Made no time record of ground oscillations but simply indicates that shaking has occurred. Hindi yan ma-determine ang intensity kag magnitude ng isa kang earthquake, but it's more like an instrument that will determine nga ay hala naglinog. Pero hindi nila mabalaan kung ano kakusog sa linog. It was cylindrical in shape with 8 dragon heads arranged along its upper circumference, as what you can see in the picture, each with a ball in its mouth. So, may ara siya do bulubulitas sa mga bakba sang kada dragons. It has 8 dragons, and also around the lower circumference were 8 frogs, each directly under a dragon head. So, may naganganganad ang mga frogs below sa bakba gid mismo sang dragons. When an earthquake occurred, balls were released from a dragon's mouth, probably by an internal pendulum that moves back and forth according to the direction of vibration. So, and were caught by a frog's mouth, which produced noise. So, that's how seismoscopes work according to a Chinese scholar, Zhang Heng. So, next is an earthquake networks. It is defined as a group of stations working together jointly for data collection and analysis. So, seismic stations operating independently can be considered a network if the data from these stations are joined and processed together. Today, most seismic networks have station linked in a communication network, so data is transmitted to a center in real time. Earthquake networks are centers in which nag-accept sila sa data And if there's any hazards na kailangan ihambal sa public or kailangan i-warn sa public, they send it via internet or via text. If may mabatunan ka mga text regarding a place nga kung sa diin may earthquake, kag gina-warn kita na permi. Probably may mabatunan ka mga warning text coming from NDRRMC. So that is a good example of earthquake networks. The purpose of earthquake networks is primarily to locate earthquakes and determine magnitude. The earthquake location generally requires 3 or more stations. So here in the Philippines, we have PHIVOLCS, or Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, which is a service institute of the Department of Science and Technology, or DOST, that is principally mandated to mitigate disasters that may arise from volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, tsunami, and other related geotechnical phenomena. So that concludes my discussion about earthquake engineering. It's not the exact introduction talaga to earthquake engineering, but I just gave some pinpoints kung ano ang mga nagaka sa earthquake, kag kung ano ka-important sa earthquake engineering when it comes to civil engineering course. And also sa field man sa civil engineering. If you have any further questions, you could message me on my Gmail here. So, dire ko lang butang ako ng Gmail. Feel free to ask questions and I am willing to answer all of them. Okay? So, before ending this discussion, I would like to give a short quiz to determine kung ano ang natunan nyo sa inyong lecture. So, it's just a short quiz. Hapos lang niya guys, don't worry. Kung namati ka mo, hapos lang niya siya. So, here you go. And thank you so much to STI West Negros University for giving me an opportunity to share my knowledge. Halong kamutanan guys! Stay safe, stay at home if hindi man na mo naka-importante inyong lalaktan, and always observe safety protocols and social distancing, okay? Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you guys have a wonderful and blessed day. Goodbye!
Thank you so much. I believe that you learned a lot from that discussion regarding earthquake engineering. So this time, let's proceed to another lecture or another discussion. So have you ever heard of the 3D design program named SketchUp? And are you curious or do you want to learn more about it? So SketchUp is one of the 3D design application or software that engineers use. So at this moment, we are going to explore more or learn more about SketchUp by this discussion.
Hello guys, I would first like to thank STI West Negros University and all of you listening for the privilege of speaking to you today. My name is Anna Henry and I am a graduate of Bacolod City College and hold the Bachelor of Science in Industrial Technology, major in Civil Technology, batch 2009-2010, and a graduate of STI West Negros University with a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering, batch 2019-2020. Since then, I've been active in design and construction in and around Bacolod City, both of which have propelled me to this opportunity today. Now, after the introduction, I'm going to show you how to do a perspective using the SketchUp.
Okay guys, we're already here at our SketchUp window. I use 2017 version, as you can see on the top of the screen. Now, there's no any application
because I closed them.
So I can show you how to open the application. You just go to view and then open the toolbars, then select the application that you need to apply while you are doing your SketchUp or perspective. Of course,
We need to use the V-Ray.
SketchUp, so we need to check that. See, when you click it and it's already had checked, so it will appear soon. Then we gonna need views, I think. Yeah, these views will gonna show you the top. This is the isometric, the top, the front view, the right view, and the back view, and the left view. Later I will show you how to use it when we already have the perspective model. Standard, yeah, we need it. I think we don't need a standard application, so we're gonna close it so it will not gonna messy. Measurement. The measurement, if you can see, the measurement will gonna check the measure of your model, but we don't have any model yet, so just close it for a while. Layer, you don't need that. This is the large tool set that all you need is already here. This is the pan. I think we needed one, so we're gonna left that there. Started, so we already have here in the large set, so we don't need it. I think we already have all we need here, so we're gonna close it. Make a floor plan here. I use the AutoCAD 2D when you're gonna make the floor plan. Just use the AutoCAD. You can use the SketchUp too, but it's better to use the AutoCAD because all the plans is to make in the AutoCAD. Only the perspective you can use the SketchUp for the perspective, rather. Okay, let's go back to the SketchUp. You need to get first the measurement, the perimeter measurement. We have 8 meters by 8 meters. Okay, so we need to apply there. As you can see, guys, it's not proportion. I think it's isometric. So to make it flat, just click the top here, the top. So we're already in the top view. So just use the pan, the tools that I put in the window, but I can also use the short command. Okay, we have 8 meters by 8 meters perimeter wall of our bungalow house. Just type L. It's automatic. It's a pencil. So just pick a point to start. Then type 8. Then 8, enter. And 8, enter. 8, enter. So we already have a perfect square, which 8 by 8 meters. And then we're gonna click it. To cancel it, just click it here. If like I'm gonna show you again, like we already have a line command and you want to cancel it, to select a new command, just click this one, so you can have your starting point again, your starting cursor again. Okay, just click this one, then type F to play, to make an offset. Rather, F is an offset. So the thickness of our wall is 0.10 meters. So just type 0.10, then enter. So you already have the 0.10 thickness of the wall. So this is representing the wall. Then go back to your floor line to check what else you need to do. You need to do this, the room 1 and the room 2 and the bathroom. So we're gonna start to the bathroom. The bathroom dimension is 1.5 by 2.55. So remember it. 1.5 and 2.5. To make a measurement, just type P, that's the short command, then pick the reference point, then 2.55, right? 2.55 and 1.5. So we already have the square for the bathroom. And to make a rectangle, the command of rectangle is R. Just type R, automatic, yeah. And then type, because we get the center line dimension, let's go back to the floor line. As you can see, guys, you select the dimension was in the center. It's in the center. So it means if the wall is 0.10, you need to divide it into 2. 0.05, 0.05 in both sides. So all you need to do is to do like that. Select it, offset 0.05, type 0.05, click, that's the inside, and click it again, type 0.05 outside. So we already have the right thickness and the right dimension according to the floor plan. We really need a floor plan, so we have basis of what we are doing. Just erase that one, guys. It's because that's excess thickness of the wall. Okay, guys, as you can see, there's a gap here and here too. Okay, you just extend the line, type L, and then connect it to the line. Then type E to erase here. If you don't know the short command, just look here and select the tools that you need to apply. And here too, type L and extend it, and E to erase. Okay, let's proceed to the next room. We already have room for the bathroom. Now we're gonna make a room 1. This room 1. The dimension of room 1 is 4 meters by 2.5. So let's go back to the SketchUp and 2.5 here and 4 meters on the right side. As you can see, guys, I already typed the T as a measurement. Tape measure, that's why it's T stands for tape measure. And then, but there's no line to offset, so just erase it, just cancel it, and then type again T and make another point here, I think. Okay, here we go. As you can see, guys, there's a line, there's a broken line here. And now you can make an offset. First, we're gonna get the center of the wall, 0.05 offset, and then gonna offset for the 2.5, as you can get here to your floor plan. 2.5, okay, 2.5, then enter. We already have 2.5. Now we're gonna get the thickness of the wall, 0.05 in both sides, 0.05. Okay, and then I'm gonna check it. 4 meters. You need to be careful, guys. Some measurement they get from the center of the wall, some at the very edge of the wall, like this. From the edge of the wall, and then get to the center here, to the next center line as next wall. But in this, but from here, no, they don't. you don't need to get the center line. It's because it's the perimeter fence, perimeter line. So just get the very point, or the very what do you call that, the very perimeter line of the building. Okay, from the perimeter line going to the center line of this wall. Okay, 4 meters. Then type 4 meters for enter, and get again. We already have the reference here, so you don't need to make an offset. Just copy and then click to your next point, and then click here again, make the offset 0.05. Here we go. We already have the wall for our room 1, but it's just a broken line because it's a tape measure mark. So we need to make a right line, right wall. Type L. You already have pencil. After you type the L, and then select the first point, the second, third, until the end point. Just continue to make a line. Then after you're making a line, erase all these broken line, tape measure mark. Just type E, then erase. Erase this too. Later you're gonna discover what's the purpose why we need to erase the line here. It's depend to the draftsman. Sometimes you don't delete the line here because you need to make it a group like this. Let me show you. If I erase the intersection, the line that blocked to the other side, it will be continuous. It means when I click it, everything will be selected. But if I gonna put the line here and here, only those part that has open way are be selected, but this part will be in another group. I can make it as a group by double clicking it, and then right click, and then click this, make a group, and it's already a group. If you click it in any side of it, it will be connected, everything. It's because it's already a group. Okay, then we already have the room 1, the bathroom, and the next is the room 2. The room 2 dimension is 2.5 by 4 meters. Okay, type T to measure the 2.5 and 4 meters. From here, your reference point going here, 4 meters. See, let's check. Okay, I think we did wrong. Erase it because it's supposed to be, the reference must be start here, going here. See, it's a center line from this perimeter line. This is the building line. Then just copy, so we don't need to do an offset, but here we need to do the offset. 0.05, click it, 0.05, both sides, and you can use the rectangular line too, rectangular shape. Just type R. As you can see, we already have a last command, which is tape, but we can make another command even we already have the last command. Just direct type the next command that you need to use, like R, and the last command will be gone, and the new command will appear again. Will gonna appear like this. Then select the first point for your rectangular shape, and then point in this edge and here, and erase all those lines. See, we already have the bathroom, the room 1 and the room 2. Now we're gonna make the kitchen. Check it. Kitchen. The kitchen has a kitchen counter which has no dimension, but the rough standard size is 60 cm or 0.6 meter. So we need to make an allowance. We're gonna make it 0.7 kilograms preparation for the ref. So 4 meters minus 0.7, so it's gonna be 3.3. So, okay, 3.3. We need to start from this reference, then 3.3. And usually the kitchen counter is 60 cm or 0.6 meter. So we're gonna make 6 meters wide. So 0.6 meter wide rather. 0.6. And let's see the other side. We're gonna estimate it because it's not yet. It has no dimension here, so we're gonna estimate. If this is 0.6, maybe this is 0.4. Okay, we're gonna make it 0.5. It's not a big deal, guys. 0.5 and 0.6. So make a rectangle R, type R, to make it fast. Then erase all the tape line mark. Then delete this one. So we already have the kitchen. And there is a lava kitchen sink in between of the long side of the counter. So type T to make to get the center, and 0.25. Let's say the kitchen sink is 0.5, so we're gonna divide it. 0.25 by 0.25 outside. 0.25 and 0.25. Then get the center, and let's say the width of the kitchen sink is 0.4, so 0.2 by 0.2 to both sides. 0.2. Okay, type R to make a rectangle and erase all the mark. And make a small holes for your sink drain. I just make a circle there, so I can be sure that that's the center, but I will remove it. Select it. If you want to remove it, and you can, as you can see, you click, but the whole circle didn't selected. But all you need to do is press the shift in your laptop and select the other side. So we already have two perfect circle. Then click the M to move it. Pick it from the center and move it. Oh my gosh, sorry. Cancel it. Just type the space bar in your keyboard and right click and make it as a group. That's the time you can move it without this line joined to your circle. So move it. You can move it now without any hassle. It's because I click the shift mode, it will be copied. Click here to choose this place to put your drain, and erase this. Now you already, sorry, I mistaken clicked escape. That's why that window appeared. And then we already have the kitchen counter. Go back to your floor plan and check what else we need to do. This division. We need to do this division. If this clearance is 4 meters, so it will be, if this half is 2 meters, maybe it's 3. Okay, 2, it's 2.5. So this clearance is 1.5. So 1.5 minus 4 meters, it's gonna be 2.5. Okay, 2.5. And 4.5, 4.4. 4.4 from here at the back, and then 2.5. Okay, 2.5 is our division. So we get distance from the back to here, 4.5. Forgot, sorry, 4.4. 4.4. Okay, it's a center, so we need to get 0.05 and another 0.05, and from here, from this perimeter line going here, 2.5, 2.5, and type R to make a wall, then erase all the mark. So we already have the division wall. Check it again, what else we need to do. I think we have the wall. We already have all the wall. Next we're gonna do is doors. Yeah, doors. If you can see, it's a door 1, door 2, door 2, door 2, and door 3. It means door 1, only one door 1, and it has 3 door 2, 1, 2, 3, and 1 door 3. Usually the bathroom has 0.6 wide, but still the standard height is 2.1. So the room 1 is supposed to 0.7 or 0.8. So we're gonna choose the 0.7, and the main door will be 0.9. Okay, let's proceed to the doors. This distance, as you can see there's a little distance before the door, is 0.05. 0.05 here and here and here. This part's a little longer, so maybe it's 0.10, but it's okay to use 0.05. So to make it uniform, we're gonna use 0.05 for the door jumps. Oh wait, we're gonna do first the columns. Here's the columns: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 9 columns, which the dimension is 0.25 by 0.3. Yeah. So we're gonna make a line here. Oh, wait, sorry. Make a line, type L. We're gonna make a column here, 0.25 and 0.3. 0.25, 0.3. Okay. Just select it and make it as a group, and click and grab to here. But we need to make it to put it in the center. So all we need to do is like this. Type L, get the center line. It's the center line of the column. And 2. For here, just type L because the tape measure cannot determine the center line. But this line, as you can see, there is a point here, so easy to determine which is the center line. So type T to mark that is the center line, and here to make a line here, and type T to determine that's the center line. So we move this column going to the center. It's already selected. As you can see, there's a blue mark. It means you already selected object, and then type M means select. This is the center line of that column, and then this is the center line of the wall edge. Okay, click here because that's the right place of that column, and erase those mark. Okay, then we gonna put this column to all column area. Okay, just type to copy, just type M and select it here. This is I will make it as a reference point. As you can see, if you're gonna move it, the column here will begin. But if you're gonna click the control, suddenly it will remain there. That's the copy way of SketchUp. So we're gonna put here and click it again, select it to make a copy. Just click the control to make sure that you have a copy there. We will put column here, so just type M and then control and then rotate. If you see that mark, it means rotate. Yeah, you already rotate that part. And get the center, type P so you can get the center of this. You already have the center, and get the center of this too. So you can just get the parameters reference there, and then select it, then put here. Now you already have the column, 3 column there, and then copy it to put in another side. Copy this column, 3 columns. While you're copying, if you're gonna click this one by one, you can select all of them at the same time. But to select them, the 3 of them, to select them, just click it and type the control. Click the control, hold the control, I mean, and then click it. Click all the object that you need to move in the same time or to copy, and then hold the control K in your keyboard, and then type M and look for your reference. I think I'm gonna get the reference here, so it's easy for me. Then control again, so you have a copy mode, and then click here to put to paste. So you already have a column there and column here, and all you need to do is only 3 column in the center. So just type, I think we need to get a center line here. Type P to get the center line here for your reference. You still have the command you still selected this 3 column, so just type M and get your reference point here, and type control to copy and paste here. Here's the center, then paste. See, you already have all the columns. As you can see, guys, there's a line here. If you want to delete it, just type E. Oh, sorry, you can't. It's because this part is grouped. This already has its own group, and this part has its own is a different group. So you cannot make a command when 2 objects is in different group. just make sure they are in one group to make a command like this. I can't erase it and or trim it here. It's because this column is in different group and this wall is in different group, so I can't trim those line unless I'm gonna make a line here for this group and line here to this group. So now I can make a trim. But don't forget your short command for line. Just type L, then make a line, then trim by using the eraser. Type again the line and E to trim it. This is the last one. Just L. Don't forget your short command so it's easy for you to do. Make a line. Now we already have all the columns in our floor plans. Now we're gonna make doors. Here's the doors. Okay, the bathroom. We're gonna do first the bathroom. Here, it's 0.05 for the door jamb, and then 0.6 for the wide of the door. Wait for a moment. I'm going to make a floor plan. It's not supposed to be that. Sorry guys. We're going a perspective, not a floor plan. So we're gonna make a door after we have the elevation. First we're gonna do the elevation. We gonna push our wall up, and our height is 3 meters. So this is the push or pull. Select this, or if you know the short command of this is just P. Cancel it and then just type P, then select this part, and you already have the push and pull command. Then just type 3 meters for the heights. If you're gonna push it up, that's the height. If you push it down, you're just like beating it. But push it up for the wall and type 3 meters. And 3 meters, as you can see this area, you can see the distance here. Whatever you're gonna input here will gonna appear here. So just type 3 and then enter. So that's the height of the wall. And then just continue it to all the walls. We already have first reference, so just pull it and then make it just get the reference height here. No, sorry, let's push it down. Okay, we already have the rules, and this is our kitchen counter. Usually the kitchen counter height is 0.9, so we're gonna use 0.9 height for the kitchen counter. But before that, we're gonna select it to make it as a group, so it's easy for us to make an edit here and there. Pull up 0.9. Okay, here's the column. Just double click it and push it up and type 3, then enter, then go outside and click it. Just make a copy, C, copy M, and control paste, then copy. to select all of this. These 3 columns to make it fast. Just select it, type, press the control. Oh, sorry, I picked a wrong one. Cancel it. Sorry. Then pick this one, control. Copy, just control, then copy, control. There we go. We already have all the columns, walls. I think there's something wrong in our walls and columns. It's a see-through, so we need to change that. If you're gonna click the K command, all those lines can be seen hidden. It's because that's the purpose of the K command. So just type the K again to remove all that lines. Sorry, I get confused. And wait a minute. Why all of this is not in proportion? So click it here. Command the push. It must be all of the. It's here too. It's supposed to be in different angle, so rotate it. Oh, sorry. Rotate it like that, and then put it there. And copy and paste here because erase first this one and this one, and then move it there. Why we have 2 lines there? Quite confusing. Copy. Don't forget the copy command in SketchUp is just move, select the object, and then click the control, then paste by make another click. Okay, we're gonna fix it by push it and put in the right height. Double check if everything is okay. Okay, I think everything is okay. Okay, we're gonna put the paint in our wall, and I'm gonna teach you how to put another texture using your pictures. Just go to edit and go here in your folder and select if you already have a pictures in your computer, this is the way you gonna do. I think I have a pictures in my download. Here's pictures, colors. Yeah, see, I have a colors here, so I choose this pastel color for my wall. See, I already have all the pastel color. Pastel color for my walls. That's the difference when you didn't make your object into a group. You need to select it one by one. But if you select it, if you set it as a group, it's easy for you to select it and to put a paint like this. Go to select, and the terrazzo light blue color, As you can see, there's a name of the color appear when you put your cursor here. This color, this light blue, I will choose that for my column. See, if you set your object into a group, just one click and everything will be colored like that. You don't need to select every side one by one just to apply the color, because it's easy to, it will, all of the faces will be applied. Okay, we already have the color, and for our floor, we're gonna select here. You see this search bar, you can click that and select a tiles for your floor. If you have a picture for your tiles, you can get it from your folder too. Let's check if I have a tiles picture. Just go to your edit, this folder I mean, just go here and let me think if I have a tile folder. Go to your folder here, I have tiles here. So if you already have those pictures that applicable for your tiles, just go to your folder and select the tiles that you want for your floor. I think I want this for my floor, for the floor, not my floor, sorry. Here. As you can see, the texture cannot see clearly. It's because it's too small. So we need to go to the edit and edit it here. I think it's very small, so we need to make it bigger, like 0.9. Let's see. I think I want a little bit bigger, so 1.5. I think it's okay. Or I need more bigger. Okay, there we go. I'm okay with that. And the column to change, it's because I didn't exit before I make another command. That's not good. Okay, we will select again for our column because I got mistaken. So go to the color and select for your column. I think I want this gray one. Okay, select. Okay, now we're gonna make doors. Type E for your tape measure, and from this column get 0.05 distance, 0.05, and then the size of the wide of your main door is 0.9, as what I said earlier, and the height is 2.1, standard height of doors. Then type R for the rectangle and select it and cancel, go here, select it and push 0.1 to make a hole and erase those marks. And here we go, you already have the provision for your main door, and erase this. Okay, and the service door, this is the exit door. Type P and get 0.05 distance from the column. 0.7 is your exit door, the same as your room's door, and 2.1 height. Type R to make a rectangle, to make a hole in your door. Then select and then 0.1. Then erase this line. And we already have the exit door. Now we're gonna make a door for rooms. Type P and 0.05 distance for your door jambs, and 0.7 for the widening, and then 2.1 height, then R, then select it from here to here, then P, push it going here, and wait, then I put it back. I did wrong. Control Z, select and push point 10. Let's see, okay, it's correct now. Then from this wall, and then make a 0.05 distance for your door jump, and 0.6 for your bathroom door, and 2.1 for the height, then R, and select for your door opening, and E to erase all those marks. Select the door and push it backwards, and type 0.10 for your wall to cut. And lastly, the room 2. You can check it because I forgot. Okay, 0.05 from here. P, type P, 0.05, then 0.7, and 2.1, and R. You can select this rectangle, select it, push backwards, 0.10, and E to erase all of those marks. Here we go, we're already all the door opening. Before that, we're gonna select floor tiles for the rooms and the bathroom. So go back here, select, and go to tiles. Which one is for the room? I think I want this one. Let's make an edit here. Go to edit and make this as a 60.6 by 6 floor tiles, and I want it to be a little bit lighter, so I think that's good. Or that one. I think that one is good enough. Okay, let's put the tiles in the bathroom. Go back to selection. We already have tiles here. Okay, I think it's good enough. Okay, and then let's go back to the floor plan to check the detail of the bathroom. Okay, there's a shower area here, so it's supposed to 0.8. Okay, let's say 0.9 for the shower. Okay, type P, 0.9, and then we put a small division here for the curtain and for the division of the shower, and the water closet, 0.05, then R, and push it up just 0.1. Okay, you already have division, and then delete it. Then we need a shower here, so we go to components. The components, you can see the components in this painting materials. Below here you have the components here. There's a search bar. Just type here the things, the accessories you need, like I need a shower bulb, shower, just make sure that you have internet connection, because if you don't have internet connection, you can't do any searching here, because only internet can provide to search your items. What's this? Can't see clearly. maybe this one. Okay, I think this one is good enough. So, oh, I forgot to teach you how to get it. After you select here in the search bar the items you want or you need, just click it here. Don't click it here because they will appear differently, but just click the picture like this, like that. I click the picture, then I drag it here. So I'm not dragging it from here to there. Click it here and then click here. Just you're copying here, going here. But if you're gonna click this, it will gonna happen. You see that? And make a download, and there's a lot of things to do. So the easy way is just click the picture. Okay, so we're gonna paste it with our wall. Just make sure you have the shower in the center. Just assume the height of our shower is 2.12. So make a measurement line 2.1 height. So, yeah. So I think it's perfect height. Then get the center to make your shower, to put your shower in the center. Okay, you already have your shower in the center. And then I need a shower curtain. Just add curtain in your shower words, then click the enter. You already have the shower curtain. Let's select a good one. I think this one that has human. There's a man outside. Okay. Usually the height of shower curtain from the floor is 1.8. Type P again to make it in the center of your shower. And copy paste here. It's too long. All you need to do is just type S, that's scale. And drag it up.
What are you looking for?
What do you think, AJ?
Why are you looking for me?
Why do you think, AJ? What do you think?
Okay, we already have. Just type H for your drag. So the hand will appear. And it's the drag. I'm gonna erase this man, I think. Or we can make it color. Okay, we have man in the background. Just leave him there. And then next, toilet or water faucet. Toilet. Search bar, type toilet, and wait for the toilet. Oh, we need this one. That is lavatory. Wait for the loading. Oh, I thought I clicked the toilet, but it's not. Here is the toilet. Why it's gone? I have no idea why it's gone. Maybe the apps is not applicable here. So just type again the toilet. Click search. There's a lot of toilet. I think I need this one. Here. Just rotate it because in the floor plan, the toilet location is here. So we rotate this toilet facing here, facing the right side. I just need to drop it in the floor because it's dropping anywhere. We need to find the picking point. That's the point. You should know how to play to pick the right location of the object. So I think I need to remove that man. It's because it's blocking the toilet. Next, the lavatory. Search lavatory. I think this one is good enough. Here. And rotate it. Okay, move it here. I think the height of this toilet tank should be the height of this lavatory. So we're gonna make a T for the reference height, then click here. I think the lavatory is in the proper height, so move it a little bit and erase this, and we already have the bedroom. Next we're gonna do is the door. Just type toilet door. It's yellow much to our wall, but let's strap the good door for our bedroom. I think this one. Okay. Here we go. We already have a door for our bathroom. Next, panel door. For our panel door, for our exit door and to our rooms. Here's panel door. Wow, I think it's for the main door. There's no doorknob. Why? Yeah, there's no doorknob. Let's select the one that it's already had a doorknob. I think this one. Let's see. Okay, it's perfect. Let's put here. I think you need to flip it. Okay, you need to rotate it. Here we go. Oh, let's check to the front one. Oh, the one. Okay, the first one is the right. The right one. Okay, this is the right one. Type M to move it there. This is the door jump. I think I did the wrong rotation. You see that? Okay, let's rotate it again and make it right. Yeah. As you can see, guys, there's over thickness. So just type S and push it in, and here too, and make the wall as your reference, and your height. There we go. And there's another side here. think we may need to make it small for a while, so we can do an edit to another side. Here. Okay. Okay, we're done. And to make it uniform, just click this one and go here. If you can see here, this is a base texture. Click it here and click it here. So they already have the same texture and color. So just copy this one, move, control to paste it, have a copy, and then rotate and paste it there. Okay, then last one, select type M, control to copy, and then paste here. Here we go, we already have doors, only the main door. It's not yet done. Select it, type M, control to paste, and then paste it, then type S to make it into big, longer. Okay, we're done. We already have the main door, the room doors, and the CR door. Now we're gonna fix the kitchen. Here's the kitchen. We must have the ref here and the range here. So we're gonna type the range here. Range. Search the range. Here the range. Okay. That's the range. I'm gonna rotate the range to face on the right. Then move it going there. Place it properly so it will look good. And then the ref. I think refrigerator. Refrigerator. Look at this one. Wow. It's high-tech wrap. I think it's okay. How about this one? Let's try this. A little smaller. I think. Is this wrap? I think it's wrap. So we use this one, then that one. It's because it's look like perfect fit to our room. Delete this one. Move forward. Wait. Gonna go back the first one. Gonna copy here the color because I like this color in this one. Oh, if you cannot select this like that, it's as you can see it's a group, but you cannot select all of that in a one click. It's because there's a lot of group inside of the groups, and there's a lot of groups inside of the group. That's why it's hard to select, and you need to do one by one. Select one by one. Okay, cancel, then delete that one. Okay, but it's not look like a wrap. I think I'm gonna make another. No, it should not look like a refrigerator. Okay, gonna put a lavatory here. So we're gonna type kitchen sink. Kitchen sink. I think this one is good for here. Where are you? It's loading. Where are you? Here. So it's a little bit bigger than the one we make. So we're gonna click it here and push it back to hide it. Or click it and move it going here. This one too going here, and this one too going here. Okay, we already have the kitchen sink, and we're gonna put the tiles in our synthetic tiles in our kitchen counter. Yeah, and then select it and put the thickness. The thickness of the granite is 0.012 meter. Just click the control, push it down, 0.012. And here we go, we already have the thickness. And select it here. Then I'm gonna select it and make a door there. But the thickness of the wall for the kitchen counter is 0.1. So we're gonna put make an offset F offset 0.01, I know 0.1, and then make it up. It's a long kitchen counter. It's the door of the kitchen counter. Okay, we already have the doors. So we're gonna make a color of all our doors. A moment. To make it the separation, we need to put a little gap here. So just type F, select F, 0.01. No, cancel it. 0.001. 0.001. Yeah, that's it. Select it and 0.001. All doors should be like that, because if you're gonna render it, the color of the doors will not emphasize because they will gonna mix by its color. But if you're gonna put a gap, there's the door will gonna emphasize. So F 0.01, sorry, 0.001 rather, 0.001. Just continue until we're gonna finish it. Until to the last door. Select 0.001. 0.001. Select 01. Last click, select it. F. What happened? Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. 0.001. Then select which texture you like. This is the one I choose for the door, and the color of the bar counter is that styles. Okay, we need a door handle, so type here door handle. Wait, kitchen cabinet. door handle. Here, I think this one, brass. I don't know where is the handle. Where's the handle? Oh, here you are. Okay. Big. So we're gonna make it smaller. I think it's enough. Okay. Put it in the center. Okay. Control IM, and then control, and then paste. Then select both of the handle. Type M and select the center. Type control, and you're gonna put it in every door that has pair this. And the only one door here, just copy the one door handle and rotate it here. Okay, there we go. We already have the door handle in our kitchen. Okay guys, we're going to make a hanging cabinet. Type T from countertop to hanging cabinet bottom. It must be 0.7 clearance. Then 0.6 hanging cabinet height. Then make a rectangle R, then double click to make it as a group, then just 0.4 width, and then gonna make L hanging cabinet 0.4, and extend it here. And make the color of the hanging cabinet like the kitchen counter, but I'm gonna make it manual selection. I'm gonna edit so the tiles will remove, or this is not the good texture for our cabinet, so we're gonna select a new one. Take this one. Okay, perfect. Here we are. This is our hanging cabinet. Sorry, I thought I was making a video, but I missed it, how to start making this hanging cabinet. But it's okay guys, it's just so easy. As long as you already have the idea how to use some tools of the SketchUp, it's easy to make a hanging cabinet. I select all the handles so I can remove it down. So when you're gonna open the hanging cabinet, it's so easy to reach. So move it down. The other one too. Okay, our hanging cabinet is almost done. And the next we're gonna put is the dining table. So just search dining table here. Sorry, there's dining table handle. Dining set. Here. I think this one is okay. Here. Where is our dining? It's loading. I'm gonna wait because it's loading. Right. Here is our dining. In our floor plan, there is a 6 tables. So our 6 tables, 6 chairs. So we can make it as a 6 chairs, but 2 chair, each both opposite. So we're gonna edit it, or never mind. Okay, I'm gonna edit the table, make it shorter. It's good for 2 tables on both sides. So this one we're gonna rotate facing to the other side. Okay, this one too, we're gonna rotate to the opposite side and place it to its proper place. Here we go. Okay, we already have a dining table. Check. Okay, we're gonna set it in a proper rotation. Yeah, okay, that's the proper orientation of the dining. So we already have a dining in the kitchen area, the division for the living. So we're gonna start making our living area, which is TV and the sofa set and a small table. Okay, living set. Wait for the loading. I think this one is good. It's loading. Takes too long to load. It's too heavy, that's why it takes too long. Oh my gosh, our SketchUp, it's not responding now, it's responding. Okay, here are living set. We're just gonna remove some, don't like this. Pretty a lot. Okay. Oh, that's a table, huh? But I think we don't need that. Or else we're gonna make it smaller or shorter. Yeah. Just a table. The plant is good for the design, so I'm gonna leave that there. Okay. Move. Just click outside if you can move it back. Exit. If you can't exit, just click outside. What I mean, if you can't set your last command, just click outside of your object. Like that. You need, if you're gonna accept the command here, so just click here outside, anywhere, but just anywhere as long as it's outside of your object, working object. Okay, we have a salad set here, but we can't find a salad set like that in our floor plan, so it's okay. It's up to you how to make your interior design. Put it there beside the TV and make this table in between, and put this table in between the sofa, and we're gonna look for TV. Just type TV and search. I think this one is okay. We have a lot of component in our bungalow house, so this is so heavy, I think. Heavy memory. The memory is too heavy. Okay, we have the TV set, but our area is too small. I don't know if everything it can fit here, so I think I will fit all of that here. We're gonna make it shorter, so select all of that shelves and make it shorter here. Perfect. This thing too. See why I do it one by one, why I didn't do it at the first time, but it's okay. I don't know what's this, so delete that one. Okay, we already have the TV rack and shelves, so where are we gonna put these plants? I think that plant has no place. Maybe we're gonna erase this plant, or only the plant where they're gonna stay. We're gonna place the plant inside the TV. It's loading again. Okay. Make it shorter. Type S to adjust your size. Yeah. Okay. We almost done. Just make it this in the right orientation, because it's a little bit not aligned. Oh, it's a little bit not aligned now. It's more obvious not aligned. Oh my gosh, wait. We just align it first and we get right. Okay. Here we go. We have now an interior box. We already have the interior. Let's check what else we're gonna miss. We don't miss. Okay, everything is applied in our SketchUp. Oh, the doors. Yeah, gonna make the door. So the door 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 door, 1 and 1, 2. 2 door 2 and 1 door window rather. Okay, we're gonna make window 1. Gonna get the center here, center this, and center here. Okay, the height of the window from the floor line is 0.9 and 2.1, 0.6. Oh, it's loading. Okay. Push going in, going outside, 0.1. Erase later. 0.6. Okay. 0.1. Delete. So we're gonna select here the sliding door, or we can make it sliding door. I think we're gonna make a sliding door, so you will know how to make. You will recognize some application because we need to apply the transparent. Okay, let's go to make a double door. Just cover the hole, double click, make it as a group so it's easy for us to edit. Double click so you can edit the object and offset. The thickness of the frame of a sliding door is 0.05 or 2 inches. And pardon, gonna repeat it. We're gonna divide it into 2. That's the time. After that, that's the time we're gonna make the thickness of the frame, 0.025 and 0.025 f, 0.025. Here we go. We already have frame, so click here and make it 0.025. 0.025. Okay, and then make it as a group. So you can make it as a group. So it's easy to make a color. Okay, we're gonna go to colors and we choose gray or black for the frame. And the glass, let's change into a mirror, glass or mirror. And we're gonna select this and edit, I think, edit 0.05. Let's see how it looks like. Okay, I think it's not look real, so we're gonna select this. I think that one. Okay, And this one, you already have the last command. That's why you can see here your last command in applying the color. Okay, just copy it. Copy. Oh, we're gonna move it first. We put it in the center. Just get a reference here. Select, and that's the time to copy. Now we already have a front elevation. Let's check where's the other. Here and here. Okay. Get as a center. Here's the center. Where's the center? Here. Okay. 0.9 floor from the bottom of the window, and then it's loading. Okay, from the bottom of the window to the top is 1.2 meter high, and then 0.6 and 0.6. Then we're gonna copy this window, select it, type M, control, place here, and we're gonna rotate it here, from here to here, then copy, move, get the center here. There we go. Then I think I have a window here. Oh, there's a window there, and I put a closet there. I think it's the wrong position of the closet. Or we're gonna ignore that window, so our closet has the place. Yeah, we just ignore that there's a window here because we already have one window there, so we're gonna make a window in another room. I'm gonna select it here and 1.9 height, then 2.1, and then divide it into 2.6. 0.1. Delete all the marks and copy this window, then copy and paste here and move it into the center. Okay, I think I got mistake. Okay, and then I have a wrong position of my shower, so we gonna put the shower here because there's a window here. We can put a line here, so we're gonna match this wall to here, so it will be recognized that that's a shower, and rotate this. Oh. Rotate it here and paste. Make sure that it's placed in the center. Okay, we already transfer the shower, so we're gonna make a window here, 2.1. The window in the bedroom is usually 0.6 by 0.6. 0.6. The center 0.3. Make a rectangle, push it outside, make a hole, then delete all those. It's loading. It's because there's a large component now in our worksheet. Okay, we already have a window for our bathroom. Now we can make just right rectangle. Double click. Make us a group. Divide it and offset 0.025. Another offset 0.025. Then double click. Make it as a group. Push 0.025, 0.0252. I thought I already made it as a group. Yeah, I did it as a group. Well, what happened? 0.025. 0.025. I repeat it, guys, because I get confused of what I'm doing, so I need to repeat it. Make sure that I'm doing right. Make it as a group. Make it as a group. 0.025. The same thing here. 0.025 is a frame of a toilet. Okay, we're almost done. We already have a windows, doors, paintings. I think we're gonna put this one near to our door. Okay, so we're gonna make a roof. Just type R to make a rectangle. Pick a point, start a point there, and end here. Double click to make it as a group, so it's easy for us to edit the roof. And double click. Our roof eaves will be 1 meter, I mean. So we're gonna offset 1 meter going out. Let's start. In our term, it is bulada. In a longer term, it is bulada, or ceiling outside of your house. Then we're gonna erase our small circle, small rectangle inside of that big rectangle. Okay, we're gonna make our height of our roof. We're gonna 1.2. Okay, 1.2. We're gonna delete this thing. Just type E to erase this. Okay, and then we're gonna select the center P for the measurement, and then get center by center. We're just gonna make a simple roof. Type L for line, then select point here and then here and here. It's just like a kubo hat roof. And delete this part. As you can see, we already have a roof. But before that, we can put the false scatter P going down 0.15. Then we're gonna put flashing in every edge of our what you call it, the roof. I don't know exactly what we're gonna call this, but the overlap, the cap will be 0.2 to make sure. Sorry, here 0.2, make sure it overlap to the joint of the roof. 0.2, the purpose of that, to make sure that to cover the joint of the two roof. It's loading again. Okay, so we're gonna put a roof texture here. Go back to the painting and select a roofing. This is a rib type, so I think we can choose the rib type. Okay, that's a roof, and then our flashing will be color red too, to match our roof color. Okay, here's our false gutter here, so we're gonna make it simple. Select it and push up, but we're gonna click the control while you push it in the center. See, as you can see, there is a line in the center. You can make it, select it, and then push it inside. Then you're gonna make 0.05 clearance. Do it in the other side, in all sides. I mean 0.05, the side 2. 0.05. 0.05. Okay, the color of our ceiling should be let's try this light dirty white, and then our false gutters like to the roof color, flashing color, this one. So just match property, and then okay. This is just a simple false gutter and flashing. Okay guys, this is our bungalow house. So you can make we're gonna make a ground. Make a group so it's easy to drag. Put in the center. Control Z. Delete all of that. That's a mark of our existing building. Okay, we're gonna put a grass here. Grass landscape, so we can select our grass here. It's look like our house is in the rice field. Green grass. Here we go. Okay. Isometric. It's the bird's eye view, isometric. Our top view. That's the front view. The right view. The back view. Plus the left view. Here's our exit door. Okay. We go back to isometric and I'm gonna show you how to render it. Make it a little bigger. Oh, this is a zoom. You can use it to make it easy. Zoom in, zoom out. Okay, this is a render application. Just like this, the in-between, to render it, and wait until the render is done. It is 70%, so it's not yet done. We need to wait until it's fully finished rendering. Okay, it's 100%, so it's done. This is the perspective. This is the left side view of our work, of our bungalow house. I'm gonna close it, guys. I'm gonna show you how to put the lights here. or even inside of your house. Go to view, toolbar, it's loading. Loading. Let's hang. What happened? Okay. We're gonna find out where is the lighting materials. We are encountering a little trouble in our SketchUp, but it's okay. Very light. Here. This is a very light, so we're gonna close it. This is all we need. Loading. Copy and paste here. Copy and paste here. Copy and paste here. Okay, guys. We are done. Okay, we can render it for our last moment, for our last topic. Okay, it's 100%. This is the last part of our lecture about SketchUp. Hope you learned. This is the save icon if you want to save this picture, and you can label it perspective and put it in the folder. Okay, thank you guys for your patience. Hope that you learn a simple SketchUp, and just keep trying to start very simple houses until you're gonna know all the apps or application here in SketchUp. Thank you guys. Bye. You're going to become expert